a new history of the colony was fabricated, in which the events of 1904-1909 were transformed from a genocide into a glorious imperial war. But the racial theories that had allowed Germany to kill thousands of Herero and Nama lived on. At the end of the First World War, the Second Reich and her empire collapsed. Defeat pushed Germany into chaos. Millions were starving on the streets of her great cities. To save the country from a communist revolution, an extreme right-wing movement emerged from within the ranks of the German army. They were called the Freikorps, or Free Army. Among them were many former colonial troops who had taken part in the genocide in Southwest Africa, the most prominent of whom was General Franz Ritter von Epp. And it was from within Epp's Freikorps regiment in Munich that a new political party was formed.
Franz Ritter von Epp may be considered a kind of godfather in the early Nazi party. Serving as general in charge of Munich, he employed what looks like a who's who list of later Nazi leaders, including Walter Schütze, Rudolf Hess, and others. His right-hand man, the founder of the German stormtroopers, the Brown Shirts, was Ernst Röhm, and through Röhm he was introduced to a little lance corporal named Adolf Hitler, who he employed to finger suspected communists within his organization. And as Hitler said, it was under him that I first learned to speak.
Von Epp did everything he could to assist his protégé, even embezzling 60,000 marks to allow Hitler to buy the Völkischer Beobachter, the Munich newspaper that became the official paper of the Nazi Party. But men like von Epp also introduced Hitler to some of the theories that had helped inspire the genocide in Namibia.
From the time that he is sailing from Germany to Namibia to suppress the Herero rebellion through his writings during the Nazi period, Franz Ritter von Epp is a forthright advocate of Lebensraum. He sees it as absolutely crucial to the German people and empire that they extend well beyond their own borders.
The Nazis built their electoral program upon the foundations of theories like Lebensraum, and by 1931 those ideas had helped them become a major political force. That year they filmed their party rally in the town of Nuremberg. At Hitler's feet stands von Epp, the veteran of the Battle of Waterberg, side by side with Hitler's deputy Hermann Göring, who was the son of the very first German governor of Southwest Africa. These men, with their connections to the policies of the Second Reich, were to be at the heart of the Third. Just 2 years later, that Third Reich was born. Once in power, the Nazis began to apply their racial theories. But those theories had been built back in the early days of the party, with the help of books written by a man whose ideas were born in Southwest Africa, Eugen Fischer.
And these books were read by Adolf Hitler. And even on 11 pages of Hitler's book, My Struggle, Mein Kampf, you can find a direct reference to Eugen Fischer's works. And when Hitler came to power in 1933, Eugen Fischer got many German honors.
Under the Nazis, Fischer became one of the most powerful men in the world of German racial science. Much of his work was done through the Kaiser Wilhelm Institute in the suburbs of Berlin. Scientists here carried out hundreds of experiments and investigations to find justification for Nazi racial theory. And it was here that Fischer's ideas from Southwest Africa were remolded and advanced for use by the Nazis. One of the race scientists who received funding and support from Fischer and the Kaiser Wilhelm Institute was a young geneticist called Dr. Josef Mengele. At Auschwitz, experiments, theories and methods influenced by those Fischer had developed in Southwest Africa were now applied by Mengele to the victims of a new genocide and a new system of concentration camps. As part of his work, Mengele sent body parts of the victims of Auschwitz back to the Kaiser Wilhelm Institute, just as the skulls of the Herero and Nama had been sent to German universities 30 years earlier. At the end of the war, Ritter von Epp and Hermann Goering were once again side by side, this time as prisoners of war. They and the rest of the surviving Nazi leadership were put on trial. But the trial that took place in this courtroom in Nuremberg made little attempt to explore the links between the crimes of the Second Reich and those of the Nazis.